Hello, welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm teacher Oakley. Hello. And today we're going to be looking at adverbs and practicing using adverbs as intensifiers. The next couple days we're going to look at adverbs and adjectives. Today we're kind of looking at how to use adverbs really properly to intensify an adjective. Any case, and obviously, as always, I'll talk to you about it, try to explain it, and then we'll practice. Hello, Naibe. How are you?
Hello, Oakley. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, nice to see you too.
Okay. Well, welcome to the class. Hello, Jairo. Hello. Jairo. Are you there? Okay. Not getting any
Hi, okay.
sound. Oh, there we go. Hello? Okay.
Hello. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
And let's see, I would like to welcome Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well. Thanks. Welcome to the class.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're probably going to have some more people in the class. However, I'm going to get started here. Talking about adverbs. Well, first of all, what is an adverb? Let's start there. Naibe, do you know what an adverb is?
Adverb is
Okay.
excuse me, I don't explain in English.
All
it's
right.
it's
Well, what does it do, I guess, is easier to talk
yes.
about. Yeah. Well, what does an adverb do? Do you know?
Uh,
It's okay. We can talk about it. Okay, hang on. There's some others that have joined the class, so let me say hi and throw it out as an open question. Hello, Jose. Hi,
Hello,
Jose.
teacher. How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you. And also, hello to Lude. Lude. Hi,
Hello,
Lude.
Oakley.
Nice to see you again.
Hi, Najiben. Hi, Jairo.
Hi, Ludi.
Okay, great. Who can tell me? Let me throw it out an open question. Who can tell me what does an adverb do? What is its purpose in life?
Maybe in pro.
Go ahead, Jose.
The modify modify
Yes.
adjective.
Okay, that is one thing it definitely does do. It can modify an adjective. What else? You're
Verb.
right. A verb. Yeah, you're right. Uh, what else? Actually, there's one more. Everyone always forgets. It can modify an adjective or a verb, not a noun.
Maybe the time. The, for
Time.
example, always.
Hmm. Maybe.
An,
Uh,
an, oh, oh, an
yeah.
adverb.
Another adverb. Exactly. Okay. Exactly right. And yes, also you're right. It can add information about time. Well, let me do a screen share so you can. There's a lot of information here, so you can see all that. Yeah, you're all correct, but let's take a look here. All right. Adverb obviously is a part of speech, primarily used to modify a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Everyone forgets that we can say very quietly, he came into the room. Okay. So very is an adverb which is actually modifying quietly, which is another adverb. Adverbs can also modify prepositional phrases, subordinate clauses, and even complete sentences. The adjective form of adverb, by the way, is adverbial, if you ever see that. Position, where does an adverb go? Okay, an adverb that modifies an adjective, for example, quite sad, or another adverb, very carelessly, appears immediately in front of the word it modifies. Okay? Well, that's a rule. I mean, it has to be that way. All right? So, again, if we're using an adverb or with another adverb or an adjective, it goes in front of the word we're modifying. Now, on the other hand, this gets confusing. An adverb that modifies a verb is a lot more flexible. It could be before the verb, as in softly sang, or it could be after the verb, sang softly, or yet again, it could come at the beginning of the sentence. Softly, she sang to the baby. Okay, here's the tricky part. The position of the adverb may actually change the meaning of the sentence entirely. So you have to be very careful. Now, one thing, if you're absolutely trying to modify the verb and you know you're trying to modify the verb, it's always safe to put the adverb in front of the verb, as in softly sang. This is the safest position. Sometimes adverbs get moved around and it changes some. Well, the problem is because it can change the meaning of the sentence, it can make the sentence into nonsense, in which case a sentence, which we should already know, must have a subject noun and a verb in it, must make sense. It must be a complete thought. So if you stick in an adverb and you stick it in the wrong place, that's a possible consequence. Possibly you could make the sentence not make sense any longer. Probably most common mistake, put the adverb somewhere where you're making an independent, instead of an independent clause or a simple sentence, you're creating a dependent clause, and then it needs help. Okay, now Ludi alluded.
Ludi.
I just wanted to say Ludi alluded because it's fun. Ludi alluded. Do you know that verb, to allude? By the way, this could be confusing. To allude, okay, you intimate, you suggest, you hint. Okay, Ludi alluded to the fact that adverbs can add information about time, and here we go. That's one of the functions, so you're absolutely correct. By the way, to allude is to suggest, but to elude, very slightly different pronunciation, is to escape. So Ludi did not escape, she suggested. Just want to make that perfectly clear, and she was absolutely right. Adverbs can add information about time. For example, adverbs rarely, frequently, tomorrow sometimes is used as an adverb. Manner, how something is done, slowly, quickly, willingly. Or place, here, there, and everywhere. Those are the most common uses, or why we're using an adverb, is to add information. Okay, and forms of an adverb, many adverbs, especially adverbs of manner, are formed by adding ly to a base noun or possibly a base verb sometimes. So we add, for example, ly to easy. We have to change the spelling a little bit to easily. Dependable. Okay, we drop the e at the end. Add ly, dependably. But there are very many of the more common adverbs which are not in the ly form. For example, just, still, almost, not. When we use not, obviously we're modifying the verb. I'm not going to your party. Obviously, I'm changing the meaning of the verb. Okay, so, all right, this is actually quite important. Many adverbs end with ly. The most common adverbs do not. They're just a word, like just. And also, this is something many people forget. Not all words that end with ly are adverbs. People forget about that. Friendly is an adjective. Neighborly, these are adjectives. Some ly endings actually create adjectives. All right. Basically, all of that background information about adverbs. Does anybody have any questions about what I just covered? That was just basic background on adverbs. Questions? Comments? Violent reactions? Crazy laughs? No? Okay. All right, our focus today is using adverbs as intensifiers. Okay. So, very simply, we use words like very, really, and extremely to make adjectives stronger. So we're talking about intensifying an adjective. Adjectives, all right, we talked about adverbs, but seriously, I mean, that's our emphasis today, is how they intensify adjectives. What is an adjective? Throw that out to the class. What is an adjective's purpose? What does it do? Its function? Yeah.
An
Hiram?
adjective.
Go ahead.
Hi, teacher.
Hey there.
An adjective is a word that it is used to increase a characteristic of the noun.
Well, it's used to describe the characteristic of the noun. Yes.
Is
Or
correct.
just simply, we can say to modify. We use it to modify nouns, but yes. Adjectives are all about description, right? So intensifiers are adverbs that we use to intensify or weaken. Okay, it's called intense, and intense is usually stronger, but we can actually weaken the strength of the adjective. For example, it's a very interesting story. Obviously, interesting here, very, is the adverb. Interesting is the adjective, and story is the noun. Okay. That's being modified by interesting, the adjective. Everyone was very excited. Alrighty. All right, it's a really interesting story. Everyone was extremely excited. Notice everyone was very excited. Everyone was extremely excited. Doesn't matter. We could say that either way. These are very common intensifiers. In real spoken English, I want to add a few more. Now, here's the thing about intensifiers. Real English native speakers almost are always going to use intensifiers. We rarely do not use intensifiers. So if you're describing a movie, you don't tell your friend it was a boring movie. You almost never say that. She's a quiet girl. She's really quite quiet. It was a really super boring movie. Okay, but there's a lot of intensifiers which are kind of phrasal, which we use. Let's try a little exercise. Let's see. Work with me here. Okay, let's take a really simple, straightforward, basic adjective here. Good. Okay, I can say, obviously, I can use these intensifiers we've looked at. Very good, really good, extremely good. How else could I change the meaning of good? Can you think of another way? Let's see. Julia?
Very good.
Very good. Well, other than very, really, and extremely, okay. Sure, we have very good, really good. Okay, but we've already got those. Very good, really good, extremely good. What else could we say? Julia, is there another modifier we could use?
Mm,
I'm trying to think of very casual, conversational modifiers.
mm,
Well,
no.
okay. If you like something a little bit, if the chicken tastes a little bit good, how do you express that? You wouldn't say very good, or really good, or extremely good.
It's, I don't know.
No idea? Let's see. Anybody else has any idea? Ludi? Any ideas? What if it's not very good or really good or extremely good? It's just a little bit good. How do we say that?
Too good?
Too good? Well, no. But I'm glad you said that. Too good. Actually, here's something many people don't realize. Too good is actually very negative. If you say
Okay.
the grass is too tall, it's got to be cut. Um, believe it or not, too good means, okay, this student is too good. She tells on all her other fellow students. She acts like a total suck up to the teacher. She's too good. It's actually a negative thing when we use too. But yes, too good. Too is an adverb actually, but not really the line of thought I was trying to go down. Naibi, do you have any ideas? All these first ones are very high, very positive. What if we just want a little positive or a little negative or very negative? Too good is very negative, actually.
A kind of good.
Kind of good. Thank you. Now this would be very natural and normal in spoken English. Oh, yeah, it's kind of good. We even modify the pronunciation, really. This is so common, we say kinda. It's kinda good. Sounds like one word,
Kinda
actually. Yeah, it's kinda good.
Kinda.
Yeah. Yes, very natural, normal spoken English. Jairo.
Yes,
Jairo,
I'm here.
do you have another idea? Similar. Any
Absolute good?
absolutely good? Well, probably not. Now, okay. Now, we're gonna look at this in just a second. Absolutely good. No, but this is where we're going with the class. You're getting ahead of us here. But okay, this is an extreme intensifier. All right? So we would probably never say absolutely good. Actually, that sounds a little weird to me. What I would say, I would use a stronger. This is a very strong or extreme intensifier. It's an extreme adverb. So I would use a much stronger adjective. Absolutely terrific. I would never say the movie was absolutely good. I would just never say that. Okay? We tend to use, and this is, you're getting ahead of me, Jairo, but that's basically the lesson here today. We use these very kind of plain, very really. Normally, not always. This is not a rule, okay? There's plenty of exceptions, but normally we use these sort of intensifiers, kind of mild intensifiers, for a little bit more mild kind of adjective. Okay? Let's get mild here. We're trying to be mild. Julia, can you think of again, with good, sort of a mild adjective? Think of kind of good.
Yeah. It's so good.
Well, okay. So good. All right. That's, yeah, that's a very, okay. That's all right. That's a very strong one. But in everyday life, all right, you guys aren't quite getting it, but we use modifiers like pretty good, kind of good, sort of good, very, very regularly. Like we never just say good. We say pretty good, sort of good, kind of good. How you doing? Pretty good. I mean, just a regular greeting. How are you today? Pretty good. We don't usually actually say extremely good. It's possible. Pretty good, sort of good, kind of good. Negatively, obviously not good. Sometimes instead of so good, we say not so good. How you doing today? Not so good. All right. So every day, just normal usage, we tend to use sometimes phrasal adverbs. We tend to use these kind of adverbs with much more, 10 times more often than we use the extreme intensifiers. It's just, this is the point I'm trying to make. Really good, okay, really and very are very common also. Before we move on and look at some more extreme intensifiers and practice those, I also want to look at one other thing. Very and really, okay. Okay. For example, all right, I can use really. Okay, really run fast. I can do that. That's perfectly okay. Or I can say run really fast as a phrase, as part of a sentence. He runs really fast. Okay, they really run fast. They run really fast. It doesn't matter. Both of those constructions are okay, putting the adverb in front of the verb, or especially if we're using an adjective behind the verb but in front of the adjective. It's perfectly okay. But what happens when I try to use very in the same way? Very run fast? No, I can't. It's totally wrong. All right, this is an extremely common mistake. People try to put very in front of the verb. That's very wrong. Can I do it the other way? Run very fast. You can always put very in front of an adjective. There's really nowhere you can put very in front of a verb. It will not work. Okay, very and really are very similar, but you cannot put, this is a very common mistake. You can put very, very common. Okay, very in front of the adjective common. You can put it in front of an adjective, but never in front of a verb. All right, try to avoid that mistake. So again, we have pretty kind of a bit. Okay, all of these sort of intensifiers we use really, really commonly. All right, another type of intensifier Hyro kind of jumped into are more, they're stronger is what they are. Amazingly, exceptionally, incredibly, remarkably, particularly, unusually. Okay. Okay. We use these more extreme intensifiers, they're called, usually for more extreme, usually, not always, usually for more extreme adjectives, or they're also involved with a number of collocations, which are just regularly spoken phrases. Okay. Yeah, anyway. One other thing which we also need to look at and practice. We also use enough to say more about an adjective, but enough comes after its adjective. This is weird. I know it's weird. This is, you know, English. Excuse me. Strange exceptions. Okay. And this is one of those strange exceptions. For example, if you're 17, you are old enough to drive a car. Enough is acting on the adjective old. Old enough. Okay. I can't wear those shoes. They're not big enough. Again, enough is modifying big. But it comes after the adjective. Notice position of not. Okay, not comes before. Really, the idea is not enough. But you cannot say they're not enough big. It has to be they're not big enough. Okay, now we're going to look at the strong adjectives that go with intensifiers. Actually, let's see. Let's see if you guys can... let's just take a very simple kind of phrase here. Hang on a second. Before I introduce you to some typical adjectives, I would like to see if you guys can actually make a simple phrase. He is, okay, fine. He is amazingly, what adjective? Okay, we're just making a simple linking verb, subject, verb, and an adjective. We're using the verb to be as a linking verb, so making a very, very simple sentence with an adjective. Let's see. Let's try this out. Hello, Pablo. Welcome to the class. Hi, Pablo.
Hi, Oakley.
How are you today?
Fine, thanks.
Great. Nice to have you here. Okay, let's see, Pablo. Can you finish this sentence? He is amazingly...
He is amazingly good player.
Oh, okay, good. That's true. Well, since you said it, okay, he is amazingly good player. What is wrong with this sentence? Do you know?
No.
Okay. Players, 1 player, 2 player, 3 players, 4 players.
Ah, okay.
It's countable, right? So I absolutely must have an article. He's an amazingly good player. Now, I already told you, everyone, I knew this was going to happen. I absolutely knew someone would say amazingly good. Yes, because in fact, we do use this very strong intensifier for good. So here, okay, I said it's not a rule. It's very common to collocate amazingly with good. So you're absolutely correct, and that's a common collocation. So there you go. Breaking. Again, I am trying to tell you this is not a rule that we use kind of more weak intensifiers, weak adverbs with kind of weaker, more common adjectives. Yeah, in general, it's true, but specifically, you're going to find collocations like amazingly good. Okay, Jairo, let's see what you come up with. He is exceptionally...
Excepcional. Stronger?
Strong. Okay, very good. He's exceptionally strong. That's great. Right. If we're talking about usually abilities, exceptionally is very common collocation. A very common collocation. Good job. Julia, he is incredibly...
He's incredible friendly.
Friendly. Okay. He's incredibly friendly. Okay, I think that's acceptable. Not a particular collocation I've heard that often, but I guess it's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. And not that, okay, I am not saying that, all right, if we have a very plain and boring adjective, it's not possible to use a stronger intensifier. Most certainly is, and it's okay to do that. It's perfectly okay to use any adverb with any adjective. The idea here is that sometimes it sounds a little funny to native English speakers. Okay, he's incredibly friendly. I mean, that's possible, but I would much more likely probably hear native speakers saying he's very friendly. Friendly is not a very strong adjective, actually. Or it's like nice. Okay, he's incredibly nice. Well, I guess that's possible. He's incredibly handsome. Oh, yeah, okay. He's incredibly good looking. Those are common, very common. Yes, he's incredibly stupid. Also, very common. Okay, this intensifier is used often with appearance, or not like exceptionally. We use with abilities a lot, but incredibly with incredibly ugly. Okay, appearance or other attributes like intelligence. All right, let's try another one here. Let me quickly say hello to Cacao. Hello, Cacao. Welcome to the class. Okay. Well, say hello when you can. Ludi, he is remarkably...
Remarkably.
Can you say that?
His presentation was remarkably prepared.
Okay. Prepared.
Prepared. Yes, excuse me.
It's okay.
His presentation. His presentation
Mm-hmm.
was remarkably prepared.
Prepared. Prepared.
Prepared.
Okay.
Prepared.
Yes, and in fact, I would, you know, something. I would even add something here. Speaking, because we're talking about collocations, I'm gonna take the liberty of adding well. This would be a very, very common collocation, actually. Remarkably well prepared. It's such a strong collocation. It's practically, well, it's not idiomatic, but it's almost a set phrase. Here's the thing, you know, using these intensifiers turn into collocations, and collocations turn into set phrases once they're set enough, and set phrases turn into idioms. But the long road to creation of entire phrases we use in English starts with these kind of collocations. Naibe, okay, he is particularly, that's a hard one to say, actually. Particularly.
Writer. He's a
What?
particularly writer.
No, we can't do that because we have an adverb here. We need an adjective, particularly something writer. We need an adjective.
It's a particularly.
So what adjective do we use for a writer?
Well,
I think you're on the right track here, actually, because the type of adjective that you would use for a writer is exactly the type of adjective that you would modify with particularly. Any ideas?
no.
No. Okay. Well, you absolutely can't say he is a particularly writer. That makes no sense at all. You need an adjective. Here is a very strong collocation. Particularly talented writer.
Okay.
Now that would work. You're on the right track, but you need the adjective in between. Okay.
Inspirational.
Particularly inspirational writer would be also very good. Hi, Kaka. Yeah, you can talk now. Very good.
Hi, teacher.
Hi there. Okay. Cacao, it's your turn, actually. I want you to try to come up with an adjective which would collocate nicely, would go nicely with unusually. He is unusually. Actually, yeah. Okay.
Unusually hard exercise.
Okay. I mean, the collocation goes well, but of course the pronoun does not. The subject.
Okay.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
teacher.
It's okay. How would we change this?
It is.
Yeah,
It
there you go.
is.
Sure. There you go. It is unusually hard exercise. Very good. Unusually difficult. Unusually hard. Yeah. Those
Can I propose another, teacher?
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
He is an unusually fierce runner.
Is unusual. Unusually fierce runner. Okay, this is a little weird because runners aren't necessarily known as fierce. It's the part that's part that's-
Automobile runner. Automobile driver.
Driver, okay. Now that makes more sense. Now, okay, see the thing with Keko's second example here, unusually fierce is a strong collocation. We have a strong or extreme, we have a very extreme intensifier, and fierce is obviously an extreme adjective. Those two actually go together nicely. The problem is fierce runner sounds weird. I mean, you don't see runners jogging down the road punching each other. Weird.
Pilot.
Okay, fierce pilot, sure. Now that makes sense. Pilot, race car driver. Here's a very common one. And usually fierce competitor. Fighter, anything that involves some kind of a very aggressive action would be fine. Whoops. Did I misspell this? Yes, I did. So unusually fierce competitor is actually a very strong collocation here. All right. So, okay. All right. Well, that's the idea. We might have to practice enough, too, if we have enough time. Okay. Okay, intensifiers with strong adjectives. Strong adjectives are word like, what are we talking about? Strong adjectives, enormous, huge. All right, bonus points. Who can give me another word for enormous or huge? Hyro?
Yes.
Do you know any other words? Strong adjectives that mean very big. Enormous, huge. No?
I don't know.
Okay. No? All right. Julia, how about you? Any other adjectives for very big? We're looking at extreme adjectives. Very big.
No.
No? Well, let me throw it out
No.
to the class. Does anybody know any other strong adjectives for very big?
Extraordinarily.
Well, now you're using the intensifier, the adverb. So you would use extraordinarily enormous.
Huge mention.
Well, that's exactly what we're looking at. We're using intensifiers like extraordinarily to show how they go with strong adjectives. So you're giving me the adverb. I'm looking for a strong adjective. Yes, you would most certainly use that particular adverb with these adjectives, for sure. Okay? All right, let me give you gargantuan. How about massive? All right. Okay. Just a couple examples. Anybody know any other examples for very small? Throw it out there to everyone. Tiny.
Little.
Sorry?
Little.
Little. Now, little is not. Little belongs over here with very small. That's a kind of. That's not extreme. Okay. Strong. Little is a weak adjective. Well, there you go. But you don't need all the suffixes you're putting on there. Yes, but yes, indeed, microscopic. Okay. See how much more extreme that is than little. Something's little, it fits in your hand. If something's microscopic, you can't see it without a microscope. Any others? I'll give you a couple.
Nano.
Minuscule. Teeny teeny tiny, minuscule, tiny. Infinitesimal, which I will surely spell wrong.
Diminutive.
Diminutive. Oh,
Diminutive.
somebody's found themselves this is why you have a thesaurus. Diminutive. Very good.
Diminutive.
That's very good. That's what we're talking about here. Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. Right.
Minute. Minute.
Minute.
Minute.
Yes. Very good. Minute. And yes, it's spelled like minute. Okay. Anyway, all right. How about, can anybody think of any other ones for brilliant?
Shiny.
Should.
Ah, shiny.
Flashing.
Yeah, but where brilliant means very clever.
Dazzling.
Dazzling. Yeah,
Shrewd.
where, sure. Shiny, dazzling, those do work with brilliant. You're right. When brilliant means shiny or dazzling, but when brilliant means very clever. Ah. Okay. Very
Yes,
clever or intelligent. Sorry?
Smart.
Sorry?
Smart. Is smart.
Smart. Okay. Ingenious would probably be misspelled. Would probably be an extreme adjective. Smart would probably be a much more weaker adjective. I would classify it that way. Brilliant and ingenious are much stronger than intelligent and smart. Okay. All right, we have a lot. There's a lot here already for very bad, awful, terrible, disgusting, dreadful. Lots of adjectives. Certain for very sure. We have lots of adjectives for very good. What's that?
Terrific.
Terrific. Yeah. For excellent, terrific, sure. Terrific. Sure, why not? Lots of extreme adjectives for good. Ooh, this is a tough one. Does anybody know any extreme adjectives for delicious?
Tasty.
Aha. Ooh, well, yeah, okay. Well, we already have that. Tasty's kind of the weak adjective. Tasty, delicious. Are there any more? Not.
Exquisite.
Exquisite.
Exquisite? Yeah, okay. Possibly.
Exquisite.
Exquisite is definitely either way. I'll give it to you because it is. It is in fact an extreme.
Tasty.
Whoops. How did I spell this? I got something weird. What's that?
Tasty.
Tasty?
Tasty.
I cannot spell exquisite.
With X.
Oh, it needs an X. Duh.
Acute.
Acute? Acute. Oh my God.
Acute taste.
Acute taste?
Careful.
You mean like ACUTE?
T. Yeah.
Yeah, but you couldn't use it to mean delicious. That's very acute. Oh, your chicken is acute. That sounds absolutely bizarre. I can say your chicken is exquisite. I mean, I'll give that one to you, but cute, no. Okay. All right.
Delicate.
Delicate. All right. Delicate. All right. Delicate is probably a more extreme adjective. Okay. Now, here's the point. We do not normally use very with these adjectives. We can, for example, but very is an extremely normal or weak adverb. Some of these we just don't. Some we could. Some no one ever says very enormous or very brilliant, possibly. No one would say very ingenious, for example. Although very smart, very intelligent, very clever would be very normal. No one is going to say the spaceship was very gargantuan. No. Very enormous, very massive. Very huge, maybe. So how would you say, what, if this is the case, if we're not going to use very or really with these kind of extreme extreme or strong adjectives, all right, we tend to use, for example, absolutely, completely, totally, utterly,
Indeed.
exceptionally, particularly, quite, really. Indeed, indeed, that is a special thing. That's not even an adjective. That is a very, very special.
Adverb.
Depends how you say it. No, it's not a verb. Indeed. Okay, I guess it is an adjective, but we don't use it really as an intensifier. Not the same way. He was indeed a massive human. He was indeed. Okay, we don't use indeed to intensify or modify adjectives. Some adverbs we don't. Adverbs are not multi-purpose. Earlier in the class, I was discussing very and really. Now, adverbs, obviously, we modify verbs, but we cannot say very run. He very runs fast. I can't do it. It's impossible. I can't say he indeed massive. He indeed massive human. It's not possible. Can't do it. I can't use just the word indeed to modify an adjective. Okay. What? All right. So. Yes. So what? So, what could we use? Pick one of these. All right. Pick one of these favorite strong adjective that you want to use, and pick one of these. Absolutely, completely, totally, exceptionally, particularly, or one of these we've already looked at and practiced, amazingly, remarkably. These are strong intensifiers. They usually go with strong adjectives, generally speaking. All right, usually. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Ludi, give me a combination, an adverb and an adjective.
This building is enormous. This is an enormous building.
Okay, this is an enormous building. But now, throw in an adverb. This is a blankly enormous building.
Okay.
right? Okay, like, well, not blankly. That's I'm I'm just using an example. Blankly could not be used. So what adverb could you use? This is what enormous building. Look here, okay. What might you?
Maybe particularly.
Particularly
Yeah.
enormous building. Sure. This is an absolutely enormous building. This is a completely enormous building. This is a totally enormous building. This is an utterly enormous building. Really enormous. Exceptionally enormous. Particularly enormous. The only one you probably wouldn't use is quite. But you know what? You would never say this is a very enormous building. I mean, you can say it. It is not wrong. Grammatically speaking, it is totally correct. It falls into this area of English where it's just not a normal collocation. So it sounds weird to native speakers. Naibe, try making a sentence with an adverb and one of these adjectives. Minute, microscopic, minuscule, tiny, even tiny.
The mouse is tiny.
Great. Now, the mouse is tiny. What one of these strong adjectives can you use with tiny? The mouse is?
Is... Oops. Exceptionally.
Exceptionally tiny. Very good. Yes, that does collocate well. All right. The mouse is exceptionally tiny. By the way, when you use exceptionally or particularly, for example, the mouse is exceptionally tiny, it means compared to other mice. It's even tinier than mice. Same thing with particularly. Compared to other mice, it is smaller. So it is particularly tiny. Yes, those work well. The mouse is absolutely tiny, possibly. Completely tiny? That's a little weird for me. Totally tiny just doesn't work. Utterly tiny doesn't work. Really tiny, okay. Exceptionally, particularly, quite tiny is okay. Yeah. So not every strong adverb goes with every strong adjective either. The idea is, in general, weak adverbs go with weak adjectives, strong adverbs go with strong adjectives. That's the general idea. Does anybody have any questions about this concept? Exceptionally brilliant. No? Okay. Well, if that is the case, thank you, everyone, for joining me for this class. Tomorrow at this time, we'll look at adjectives again, but in a totally different way. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time here on Verbling.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
Thank you.
Bye.